All right, welcome back. So today we are going way beyond just looking at simple price charts. We're going to pop the hood on the market and really see what's going on inside. I'm talking about learning how to read the real story of supply and demand, as it's actually happening second by second. And it all kicks off with this one critical question.
Okay, so picture this. You're watching a stock, you're focused, and then, bam, a massive 100,000 share sell order just appears on the screen right above the current price. It looks like a giant brick wall. So what do? What's your move? Do you slam that sell button, thinking the price is about to totally tank? Well, that gut reaction, it might be dead wrong. Because in the market, what you see isn't always what's really there.
And this, right here, gets to the absolute heart of what we're talking about today. See, a beginner looks at that huge order and thinks, whoa, that's a wall of sellers. The price has got to go down. But a pro, they see it completely differently. To them, it's just an ad, an intention. The real story, the only thing that actually matters, is what happens when someone tries to buy it.
So, to really get why that is, we need to first look at the tool most people are glued to, the order book, and we're going to peel back all its layers of illusion.
Okay, so this is what we call level 2 data, or, the order book. It's basically a list of all the limit orders, just waiting to be filled. You've got the bids to buy on one side and the asks to sell on the other. And the most important word here, the one I really want you to remember, is intentions. The order book does not show you what has already happened. It only shows you what traders say they want to happen. It's all just passive liquidity, kind of sitting on the sidelines. And it's so easy to fall for this flawed logic, right? You see way more shares on the buy side than the sell side, and you think, oh, well, the price has to go up. But that assumes all those orders are real, and it assumes they can't just be canceled in like a millisecond. And in the real world, the market just doesn't work that way.
So if the order book is just showing intentions, then how in the world do we see what's actually happening? Well, this is where our second and honestly probably more important tool comes into play. We call it the tape. Time and sales, or the tape as it's known, is a real-time log of every single trade that gets executed, period. It's not about intentions, it's about commitments. It shows us the price, the size of the trade, and here's the crucial part, who the aggressor was. Who was the person that said, I'm not waiting, I'm making this trade happen right now?
So let's break it down, because this is really the key difference. Think of level 2, the order book, like a static photograph of all these passive orders just waiting around. But the tape is the real-time movie of the action, of orders actually executing. See, the order book doesn't move the market at all. Only the aggressive buying and selling that you see on the tape can do that. And that is our first big aha moment.
And the tape, it tells its story in color. It's actually pretty simple. When you see green prints flashing, it means buyers were the aggressors. They reached up and paid the asking price. We call that lifting the ask. That's bullish. Red prints, that means sellers were the aggressors. They went down and sold at the bid price, or hitting the bid. Super bearish. The flow of these colors, green versus red, literally tells you who's in control of the market right at this very moment.
But here's where it gets even more interesting. What if the order book isn't just a passive list of intentions? What if it's being actively used to trick you? Yeah, this brings us to the dark arts of spoofing and hidden orders. Okay, so what is spoofing? It's basically a manipulation tactic where a trader places a huge, very visible order to mess with the market. They might flash this giant buy order to make it look like there's super strong support, to lure other people into buying. But here's the catch. They have absolutely zero intention of ever letting that order actually get filled. Here's how the trap is set. Step 1, a spoofer puts up that huge, fake buy order. It creates this illusion of a solid floor of support. Step 2, other traders see this support and they get lured in. They start buying, thinking the price is safe. And then, step 3, just as the price gets close to their order, the spoofer instantly cancels it. Poof! And step 4, that fake support just vanishes, and all the buyers who got tricked are now trapped as the price falls. I mean, it is exactly like someone pulling the rug right out from under you. That support you were standing on, the one that looks so solid, it was never really there. And this is precisely why you can never trust the size you see on the order book at face value. And then you've got the total opposite problem, iceberg orders. This is when a big institution wants to buy or sell a massive amount, but they hide their true size. So you might only see, say, a 500 share order on the book. But as soon as those 500 shares get traded, another 500 instantly appear to take their place. You're literally only seeing the tip of the iceberg, while this massive hidden order underneath is just absorbing everything that comes its way.
Okay, so this all brings us right back to where we started. You see that huge 100,000 shares sell order on the screen? How do you know, how can you tell if it's real resistance that's going to stop the price dead in its tracks, or if it's actually just fuel for a massive breakout?
Well, the answer is all about watching the fight play out on the tape. So, scenario 1. If buyers start nibbling at that big sell order, but the tape starts to slow down, and you see the seller just keep refilling their order at the same price, that's absorption. That seller is a real wall. But, scenario 2. If the tape speeds up, and you see fast, relentless green prints just chewing through that order, forcing the seller to move their price higher, that's consumption. The buyers are totally in control, and that wall is about to become rocket fuel for a launch.
And absorption looks a lot like this. You'll see a huge amount of aggressive buying volume hitting the tape, just pouring in. But the price barely even moves. All that buying pressure is getting soaked up, like a sponge, by a huge, often hidden seller. And that's a classic bearish signal, because all that buying effort is producing nothing. It's going nowhere.
And this is the ultimate mindset shift you need to make. Think about it. When a huge institution wants to buy 1 million shares of something, they need someone on the other side to sell it to them. So when they see a giant wall of sellers, they don't see resistance, they see a buffet. They see a golden opportunity to get their entire massive order filled at one price. That thing that looked like resistance, it actually becomes the fuel for the breakout.
All right, so how do we wrap all this up and put it into practice, to actually read the market story in real time? Well, it all starts with a simple change in how you think. You have to stop looking at a large order as a fact. It's not. Think of it as a testable hypothesis. And the tape, that flow of actual trades, that's your experiment. That's how you test it. Is that order for real? Is it being absorbed or is it being consumed?
So here's your 3-point check, your pro checklist for when you're at a key price level. Number 1, watch the tape speed. Is it fast and aggressive, or is it slowing down and getting hesitant? Number 2, watch the price response. Is all that trading activity actually moving the price, or is it just stalling out? And number 3, watch the liquidity itself. Is that big order being pulled, meaning it was fake? Is it being refilled, meaning it's real resistance? Or is it being consumed, meaning it's fuel? The answers to those 3 questions, that's what tells you the real story.
Because at the end of the day, the market isn't just some chart with a bunch of squiggly lines. It's a living, breathing story of conflict between buyers and sellers, unfolding every single second. And once you learn to look past the illusions of the order book and really read the actions on the tape, you can start to understand that story as it's being told. So the only question left for you is, what story is the market telling you right now?